It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Wake in the building.
Yo, it's you that we should be hailing because you were not here yesterday.
Yes, I went to see Buhari, but unfortunately, I got stuck in traffic.
So you didn't even make it there?
I got as far as like when we went I got to Awolowo area, and it was just great. Like just closed the look. Just found it. I said, "Uncle, please, can we go back to our house now?" I just turned back around, to kind of do other things. But hey, but I'm happy that at least they decommissioned J.K. Randall Yoruba Center and Culture. I mean, I think it's a beautiful building, and also the rail line. I'm really happy, excited about that. So hopefully now we can start using the rail very soon. Once they finish the tests for the next few months, because she can start having access. How you doing? Nima is not here yet. We're waiting for her.
Yes, she's in traffic.
She was stuck traffic, and then she has some issues, but she should be here very soon.
She says when I last spoke to her, she was in Anthony. So
yes,
hopefully
she should be here
in the
very
next
soon.
10 minutes. I'm missing her already.
How you doing? What happened to your shoes this morning?
Hey, I was just coming out of the car. This thing just cut. I said, hey, wahala. But Aki was the door, and he ran, and got them back.
Has it a long time you use those shoes?
Yes.
Yeah, so it happens.
Because you don't wear them often, then the humidity, well.
At least you're still rocking it.
Okay, you had another banter. What happened?
Show my CBN matter.
Yes.
Hey, it's me. I know.
Don't worry, there's time for that. We'll take it to the papers.
Okay.
We're wearing blue today.
Yeah.
Same color. Isn't that interesting?
I'm good. So, yesterday I wanted to do this banter because I was hosting. I couldn't banter because there was gist everywhere. Whenever we inaugurate things within the Ekpe area, all real estate people will just go haywire. Like that's our marketing material. So that it wasn't yesterday. It was on Monday that the president opened the seaport. Okay, the seaport. The seaport is the one that is very important to me. I think Nima will be concerned about rice. I think the rice affects everybody in terms of we should have more available. We're hoping for consistency in the information, but the seaport, and it'll be cheaper. But the seaport is a big deal because the seaport is a project that has happened for over 10 years, and it will be similar to other things that the government has spoken about. That we're going to do the 4th mainland bridge. It will take a number of years, but you would. Eventually, you finish it, you will see it. This was one of those projects, and for those that were wise enough to buy real estate in Ivejuleki that time, they are profiting bigger now, so jump into it, talk to us.
Oh, goodness.
What we need to make sure is that there is no traffic on that axis. Because getting to
Lagos is a metropolis. You're not meant to go from Lagos to Ekpe. I don't go to the island every day because I stay on the mainland. My activities are within the mainland. Those that stay on the island, the activities are within the island. Those that stay in Ekpe, the activities will be between Ekpe and Ivejuleki. So that's and they are opening up that circle. So you can live in Ekpe, do business in Ivejuleki, or live in Ivejuleki, do business in Ivejuleki. That area is going to be another community.
Yes, but the way it's supposed to be is, look, if there is no traffic, or if the rail line is working properly, I can live in Abeokuta and work in Lagos.
Yeah, true.
What started happening with currently, because we now have a train that comes into morning and evening for now. So gradually, and we'll get there.
I'm saying.
And baby steps, we're getting there.
I mean, not everybody that lives in London lives in
baby steps. We are getting there. At least they opened up Ibadan to Lagos. Now people are living in Ibadan. They're not working in Lagos. So this is baby steps. We'll get there. But please, go and pick up your PVC.
Yes, I picked up mine.
January 31st, that's the deadline. Go and pick up. It's not as hard as people are saying. The people on social media making look and see if it's social. Yes, some people can be very cumbersome, but please go and pick up the PVC.
I checked 3 places. 3 look. I went to Ogudu first because I didn't know where I was going to go to. I went to Ikosi, and people were just walking in and picking it up. And then I finally picked up at Magodo.
And there are a lot of volunteers helping to make it seamless and easier. So if you want to volunteer, also go there early. Tell the INEC official just a citizen you want to support. They'll help you. They'll tell you where you can help me with the lining or counting the numbers or something, just to help. Let us make it seamless so that people are encouraged to go and pick up your PVC. Please pick up your PVC and make sure you vote. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with the nation. Senators' reps draw battle line with CBN over Naira notes. Wike won't campaign for Atiku. Legislature, judiciary autonomy bills ready for Buhari's ascent. Retire if you are due, PSC orders DIGs and AIGs. ABIA to enjoy export hub status, says Tinubu. Tribunal fixes Friday for verdict on Oyetola versus Adeleke. And how Amosu increased Ogun IGR. All right, which story are we taking? Okay.
So the Police Service Commission has given an instruction based on the law. The statement came from the fact that he said some people that are meant to retire now out of the service are asking for extensions. So the Police Service Commission has said that it is institutional. There is an institutional succession plan within the Nigerian police force, and there are enough people to fill in the positions that the commission has taken a decision not to extend the tenures of retiring senior police officers, stressing that even if they decide to want to accept the extension, it is illegal because the Police Service Act and the Constitution of the Federation makes it illegal to do so, and that there are enough people that can fill in that gap. A lot of ASP from the Police Academy every year, 10,000 constables are being recruited every year, and it is important that once you hit the age of, you've served for 35-year period, you should follow the rigid rule of mandatory retirement, and that's to everyone who is a DIG, AIG, and police commissioner.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking about this matter is the IG is supposed to retire because he has reached, in March he will reach his own, but they are saying the president has given him an extension.
Yes.
Now that is what is causing, I'm sure
people are now asking for extension.
Yeah, because if you can give
no, that is a discretion of the president.
Yes, the IG is appointed now.
You're not entitled to it.
Yes, the IG is appointed.
Yes.
But the other people are promoted.
Yes,
so by virtue of that, they would have to
yeah,
go
but
exit.
It's still, he has served, the last one, once he's 60, he's reached the age of 60 and he's 35 years, he left now.
Honestly, I feel bad that the president gave extension because he would also set precedents. And
well, they even need the extension now because of this, the elections. At least let the elections pass. Like, we need consistency so far. So I can understand why there's a need for a bit of extension. But let's take another story. I was going to take the, let me see, I think it was the Ashwaji story. He was in Imo State. Was it Imo State? Yes, he was in Umuahia, escorted by Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State, for a rally where he unveiled his industrialization plan for ABIA State. He was saying, that this is the state of the center of production and his center of production and industry. According to him, he said that ABIA market is one of the largest in Africa, in West Africa, and he sees it becoming the major exporter of all types of manufactured goods to Asia, North America, South America, and Europe. He says he sees the state as a humming industrial activity such that it will become a world-famous center for activity from the manufacturing of clothes to cars, appliances, computers, and other components. So he's promising the people in the Southeast that definitely he will support them to become a production viable state. You have a story in Nation, right?
I've taken the other story, but I can also take the CBN and the Senate. Yeah. The controversy, the Senate are asking for an extension. They are saying, a lot of people in their constituents cannot get their money in time, and they are not even seeing the new notes. So they're asking for an extension, but the Emefiele has said so it's not budging.
Also in the paper, the fact is the CBN is independent. They have the right to create monetary policies, and so the Senate or the House of Assembly cannot compel the CBN to change their decision. And the CBN said they've given 90 days. That should have gotten everybody to drop their notes.
If I said 90 days, then it says no, it's 100 that he has given. So
people have got, according to him,
but he hasn't provided the notes.
He is saying, listen, he's saying our mint is producing and we are supplying the banks. We have super agents on underserved areas like riverine communities. But that's you're saying it, but it's not translating. It's not what we are seeing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he also said that he has told banks to operate to close later and operate on weekends. But we're not seeing banks saying that we are opening for longer hours.
Who's going to work on
this
weekend? No bank has sent me any text to say, oh,
you can come and
you can come at any time. That's
let me take an extension of that story in Punch, because I was going to give Governor Emefiele some updates just in case he thinks everybody has. Let me just move on quickly to the Punch. New Naira deadline: Kano, Ondo, and Naira depositors flood banks with old notes. Labour knocks governors as states reject local government autonomy. Islamic teacher bags life jail for defiling 8-year-old pupil. No, 8 pupils actually. WHO worries over fresh 170,000 COVID-19 cases and deaths. FG raises 14-man panel to end fuel scarcity. Lagos projects 7.5 million train passengers monthly. Interest rate hike, job losses, crisis looms, warns OPS. And traders lament as Okowa shuts markets for Atiku. Okay, so going to the story of the Naira notes again. So we have reports, according to Punch, from Kano State, according to the custom besieged various commercial banks in the city of Kano on Zoo Road branch specifically. And he said there was absolutely no new notes. Also in Sokoto, people travel far from their villages to come closer to the city to go to the banks to exchange all their old notes. And there were no new notes for their disbursement. Same thing happened in Osun, Ondo, Borno, Anambra State, where Punch reporters went there to observe. Even the ATM machines were not dispensing cash. And even one of our producers or the directors confirmed this morning that all the ATM cash she went to this morning, they're not dispensing. They said out of service. They ask you to come into the bank. When you get into the bank, they'll offer you old notes. Obviously, they don't have the new notes.
You can't change. I sent personally my secretary this morning. Oh yeah, go to. She went to how many banks? I read them out to you.
Please mention it.
Let me make. Okay. She went
so that we know.
She went to Polaris, Stanbic, GTB, Zenith, Fidelity, Access, FCMB, First Bank, and UBA. I mean, that's like 9 banks.
9.
And
they're not dispensing cash.
No cash in the ATMs, and they said they have old notes if she wants inside.
Governor Emefiele, I hope with this small medium of hours, we want to convince you and not confuse you that there are no new notes in the banks.
So please flood if you want. I'm not saying it shouldn't be sacrosanct. Flood the market, because are you telling me I will go to the vendor to go and buy newspaper now, and I will tell the vendor I want to do transfer?
That's what we want.
Where is your POS?
That's what he wants us to move to. We're changing culture, but you cannot change culture in 90 days.
It's not drastic. It has to be.
In 90 days?
It doesn't happen. Let's take another story in Punch.
Yeah, the Islamic teacher, they gave him life for. He defiled 8 students. They said he was using his index finger. Ew. And Justice Sholadoye had said that she believes the witnesses, that they convinced her that she doesn't, and for that she's registering him as a sex offender, and that he's a disgrace to the religion, and that the government should now go to schools and all these places to make sure that they are monitoring the school, that people should watch them.
The school head teachers, that's their job, the teachers. How many can government do? These teachers who may monitoring the students. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
And ask questions if I want to ask questions. And if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask questions. I may just I may even tell you I saw this.
What if it's in person? But then would it make a difference where? So like this person might just say, you people can just be on 3rd Mainland Bridge on a bike. And the person say, babe, I cannot do it again. And you lose range. So what would change the scenario? Like, does it matter where? Do you want to have like a fancy dinner like the film you were mentioning?
No, like finding up here.
Or do you want to be on the street?
Don't carry me go fancy dinner.
Or you are just on a run for treadmill.
Or you not a job.
Don't tell you lose for your web.
Now don't turn attempted murder.
So which would it be? Because I'm like, in person you have the closure that you want and the few injuries.
Guys.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Yes,
So I'm taking a story about Delta State where traders lamented, they were lamenting that the markets were shut down. They said that the governor of the state was unfair to market traders in Asaba because while he did not shut down the government, he didn't declare the day a public holiday. He stopped them from being able to trade and make money, which is their own source of livelihood. So the market was shut on Tuesday simply because of the campaign that and it's unfair to the citizens to do that. But during the campaign, Atiku, who was able to speak, did not, of course, that was a different issue. He mentioned the fact that they wanted Delta State to show up, you know, for PDP as they always have, that Delta has never disappointed PDP since 1999, and they're expecting that everybody will show up to support PDP in Delta State. That's the story.
Okay, let's move on now to Daily Sun. National Assembly CBN clash over the old Naira notes. We talked about that earlier. I'll end youth in frustration, restore hope, Tinubu pledges. FG stops refined sugar importation. No extension for police officers due for retirement, says PSC. Elections, parents appeal for 2 weeks break for students to vote. Asaba stands for Atiku, ex-VP restates commitment to restructuring and unity. Okay, which story are we standing by? I have the story from the National Parent Teacher Association, that's the NAPTAN. Yesterday, they were saying, asking the federal government, who had complained about 3.5 million students may be disenfranchised as a result of the elections in February 25th. And they're also asking that the government should allow a 2 weeks break to allow students to vote, and I'm thinking 2 weeks break. I mean, like, we like holiday in this country, but that's what the NAPTAN is saying. The National Association of Nigerian Students also sought out 2-week break for students to travel to their various homes or destinations where they are registered to vote and during the elections. I can understand that because many of them are out of town and they're hoping that they can go back home to vote. But I'm not sure 2 weeks is...
No, but the former president of the National Association, Nance,
yes,
said that 2 days was enough for students likely to be affected, you know, that they should just come back and vote.
Exactly.
Outside their campuses and come back to vote. 1 week is too much, and I don't support that. I believe that no student leader will support that too.
Exactly.
Transportation is also expensive though, because when you say you should go and come back, the cost of going and come back.
You still go and come back in 2 weeks. You still go and you still come back. It's not
and they'll go back twice for presidential election and gubernatorial election.
That's March. The presidential is in February 25th.
So you should just give them 2 days. Let me take the story about the sugar. So the federal government has stopped the importation of refined sugar. It is part of there's a plan, the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan, which is a 10-year plan. The goal of the plan is to boost the Nigerian GDP by 500 billion naira. And the government has provided 300,000 hectares of irrigated farmland. For me, this is a big deal. And they said that over the period, this is the second phase of that 10-year plan. The Executive Secretary of the National Sugar Development Council, Mr. Zach Adedeji, said he was really excited about this and that they expect this to boost the country's power production, because ethanol is created from can be created from sugar, and it can create jobs directly and indirectly. So there are 9 states covered in this 300,000 hectares of irrigated farmland: Nasarawa, Kwara, Adamawa, Oyo, Niger, Taraba, Ondo, Sokoto, and Bauchi. And we're expecting that anybody that is in this line of business would plug in into this opportunity.
Okay, okay, let's move on now to... Am I taking a story here?
Yes, you did. The election...
The students.
Election.
Okay, let me move on
2
now
weeks break.
to Vanguard. National Assembly, CBN battle for old Naira notes deadline. Constitution review, National Assembly bows to governors as state assemblies reject local government autonomy. Restriction of Okada, Keke Napep, court dismisses suit against Lagos state government. CBN raises monetary policy rate to 17.5%. And travelers entering Nigeria must present COVID-19 vaccination certificate, says federal government. Okay.
So we missed the story about the travelers coming into Nigeria, and because there's a resurgence of COVID-19 in a few countries around the world, the federal government and the Presidential Steering Committee, PSC, has decided that for any traveler coming into Nigeria now, they need to show proof that they've been vaccinated at the airport. But I think we might need to do a bit more than that, because we also know that you can still be a carrier even if you have been vaccinated. So maybe the awareness for increased vaccination.
They're even saying that they want to be vaccinating you at the airport. They put that in the
story as well. So if you haven't been vaccinated, you get vaccinated at the airport. That's also...
I'm wondering, do they have that kind of money? Do you know how many people come into Nigeria daily? And, you know, most of the world, it was China that most of the world faced, because it's China that are the ones with the... Oh, now we are now saying everybody. Anyway.
Okay.
Let me take another story. Oh, you have a...
I was just going to take that the Lagos State Federal High Court has dismissed the suit by Julius Ajibulu. He was asking them to ask the government to reverse the ban, and the judge said that the applicant had failed.
Yes.
And Okada and
tricycles.
Yeah. They had failed to establish that the Lagos State government has no powers to ban operations of tricycles and motorcycles in respect of the designated routes in the state.
And he had been in court since 2018, so at least...
All right, so I'm quite interested in the constitutional review. So according to the National Assembly clerk has directed... No, the National Assembly has directed the clerk, Sani Tambuwa, to urgently transmit the 35 bills that have far met the constitutional requirement when of Section 9, Subsection 2 of the Constitution for presidential assent. Now, if you recall, they had sent about 44 amendments to the states to review, but they only sent back 35. Of the ones that they've not touched is the one on local government autonomy. 27 states have 27 or 36 states on have said they expressed their own concern for the local government autonomy, and governors particularly most governors rejected the local government autonomy, meaning that there's a strong possibility that if the president assents to this bill, the quest to get that autonomy would have been killed completely, because the governors at the various House of Assemblies have rejected. Many of them do not want that autonomy for the local government. This is something that is worth discussing. They've gone around, they've done the town hall meetings, they've also gone around to the House of Assemblies across the state, and 9 of the states actually abstained from even touching the bill at all. So this in itself is not, there are different angles to this conversation, and it's something that's worth looking at again. But let's see what the president would do if he would append his signature to it. And if he doesn't, I guess we have to go back to another review and to see how he can do to get the assent. Okay, we have to wrap up. How many minutes do we have? Just a minute. Let's take Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we have not taken. 1.5 million polling agents for elections, says INEC. Ogun PDP Governor Supreme Court dismisses Jimmy Lawal's appeal. Others. Oshun Adeleke Oyetola to note their fate January 27th. Constitutional review, Senate bows to governors on refusal of local government autonomy. And Buhari sets up 14-man committee to ease petrol scarcity. So that's the story. The president has set up a 14-man steering committee to deal with petrol scarcity with the goal of reducing the challenge. The committee is being chaired by the Minister for State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timothy Silva. In the committee, there are members, other members of the committee includes the Minister for Budget and Financial Planning. It includes advisors to the President on Economy, the DG of the DSS, the Controller General of Nigerian Customs, Chairman of EFCC, and the Commandant General of the NSCDC, including other people, make the 14-man steering committee. And the goal of these people is to see whatever they can do to ensure that there is proper supply of AGO, DPK, and LPG, according to PMS, all other petroleum products. And we're looking forward to it not just being a committee, but actually let's see the committee effective in reducing the stress of getting fuel in Nigeria right now.
So I just want to say that a committee, again, is a group of individuals who singularly can do nothing, but come together to agree that nothing can be done.
Okay, let us go to a break. When we come back, Nima should join us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
It's not just where, but who wouldn't you want to work with?
Yes, that's on that angle.
So Laifa had a very, very interesting...
You wouldn't want to work with who?
Not
There's no judgment.
No, and I respect,
they'll judge you definitely,
I respect
but we won't
this
judge
certain type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
resentment
on you. Is it me that offended you? I'm not the one. I have no business. Man, just come and work with you, pay me at the end of the month, and let me go back to my house in peace and sleep. But when it comes to like divorced people, I cannot work with a divorcee. I can't see myself doing that. If I find out, if you can hide it or not, but if I find out,
when they are nice divorcees,
I would just.
What if they are nice?
Okay, now it depends. If you are nice, cool. But if you are the type that you don't know how to keep your anger to yourself, you always pour it on somebody. Well, I'll drop my resignation letter, no matter the amount you're paying me.
So it's more passive-aggressive people.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, definitely.
And I cannot work with stingy people.
See this one.
Because you cannot be passing me in the morning, afternoon. I can say, oh, yeah, working. Oh, yeah, take 100 naira, take 10K, take 15K. You don't have to be my sugar daddy or sugar mommy. See, the way you treat others is the way they will treat you outside. Yeah. And if you cannot treat your workers well, they are not a good boss. If you cannot be dashing me small thing or giving me donuts when I'm working, you are not a good boss.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues,
Thanks for staying with us. So today, this morning, we're discussing parenting. And this is a topic we've always discussed in different forms. But there was a story that caught our attention that happened in Cameroon. So Cameroonian police have reportedly arrested an unidentified woman whose child died after she allegedly gave the baby tramadol and went clubbing. If you recall, tramadol is banned in Nigeria, and we always get trailers and trailers of tramadols arrested by customs. So she went clubbing. The Instagram user shared the story with pictures of the lady and the dead baby. Said the mother gave the child the drug so the baby could sleep while she went out to party with friends. This has generated lots of controversy as how people are negligent with their children and how negligence has arisen in recent times. My issue is not the fact that she went clubbing, because people go out to have fun and enjoy themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's some decisions we make for fun as a parent that we need to review and discuss, because this can happen anywhere. This could happen to us. This could happen to everybody who that well-intentioned situation. But tramadol itself is an illegal drug. I don't know if it's illegal in Cameroon, but we as parents must also pay attention to what we do and why we do things. Please call us. You can call us on 0812-705-3687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. As I said, when we read stories like this, it's not so much about dissecting the story. It's more about what are the lessons we're learning, because in this case it's tramadol. Well, it could be that you abandon your teacher, you leave your child for a lesson teacher. You go out for Islamic studies, or you go out for a prayer meeting, or you leave the child because you want time to hang out, or you want time to do stuff. You leave the child with an uncle next door that plays our bread. These are silly decisions we still do today that still harms our children. In this case was tramadol, it could have been anything else. So let's discuss parenting and use this opportunity to remind ourselves again on how we need to make decisions concerning our children. Nima, want to start?
Let me leave intentional parenting to and the coaches. But I saw the picture of the girl, and it was a child having a child, clearly.
Yes.
So irresponsible decisions would come up. For somebody to be having children, there should be an age around it. I don't want to be reckless, too careless to say it should be regulated when people should start to have children. But it's almost, when I read the story, it was almost as if, who even allowed this one to have a child in the first place? That was the first thought that came to my mind. I see situations where sometimes I see mothers holding their kids, the way they even do not worry, they care, even to do basic hygiene around the child. You see that you're constantly teaching the young girl, telling her, do this, do that. You now understand why our parents used to do the omugo, because in those days, as a young girl, you were allowed to get married and have kids early. These days, in our own generation, where you're mature, you've gone to school, you've done everything, when you have your child, you know better. You even know basic, only exclusive breastfeeding, where the mother thinks the child is underweight and all of that. You know how to probe things. But if you see this girl, and the circumstances, the picture of the environment where the kid was buried, where the locals were discussing what had happened, it was a clear case of young child.
Could it have been a girl that had a child out of wedlock that, maybe the community so just
which is why the irresponsible,
and she's doesn't really care about the child, really.
Which is why the irresponsible act of, let me just drug the child. Some people do it with cough syrup. So the child is nagging, is throwing tantrums, is disturbing the mother, and she's looking, I cannot come and kid myself. I know some people, they'll just let me give him cough syrup. That's self-medication, not doctors prescribed. You just give the child so he can sleep off. Some people, just the teething period of a child, they can't have that patience. They start to give the child so many, the child is constantly on ORT because the child is purging due to all the concussions that they are giving. I made the mistake when my first daughter was always teething. I used to think all those prescribed medicine was for the child, but I met the pediatrician and said, we just used to prescribe these things for the mothers, not for the child. Teething is a natural process the child must go through. That the least that they can give is painkillers. It's not for you, but you can't stand the child, so they'll give you, and you see people that are abusing the sorts of relief medicine that they give them. The child will be purging. They are unhygienic around the child. When I was taught the basics, my children, they would teeth till they grow the teeth. Nothing used to happen to them again.
I didn't use anything.
Nothing used to happen to them. So just a bit of information and responsibility. I would make sure I'm around the child, do what I need to do.
Okay, let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, before we go, I want to just say that there's this misinformation about tramadol. It's a painkiller. It's not a sleeping drug. It is a painkiller.
That was a cough syrup.
Adults. No, it's a painkiller.
Numb the person out of
and it's prescribed when they're giving you ordinary painkillers and it's not working. Then maybe you have maybe the person has cancer or something. Then they will now
just had a cesarean session.
Interestingly, when I had my accident in the US, I lost 6 inches of my right thigh, and after the surgery, and I was doing my physical therapy, the doctor said, "Listen, Mariah, I would like to give you a drug because the pain was terrible." And I said, treacherous pain. He said, "Listen, you're young, and I want you to live with the pain because eventually you'd get used to it. If I start giving you drugs now, you continue to ask for more drugs as you grow older, and then your body you start looking for more drugs and feeling more stronger and stronger as you go older. But because you are young, manage it. If you're in pain, just sleep." He was telling me what to do. And today, the pain is like normal to me. Is it like, if you go through the kind of pain I go through when the weather is changing and when my body aches, it's different because I'm used to that pain. So it's not all the time we must use painkillers for pain all the time. But let me come to you. What are your thoughts on this? Because this goes back to parenting. I don't want us to focus on only this tramadol matter because many of us do it in different ways.
We discussed around parenting yesterday as well, and we spoke about reassessing our priorities per time. So I'll look at it from that angle. Some parents would be like, "Oh, I've not slept, and let me give this my baby's cough syrup so I can sleep," or "This child is just crying, let me give this child cough syrup so I can sleep," or they'll give the child Piriton so they can sleep. People, in our side, tramadol is pretty far. Tramadol is like an abuse drug. What most people around that I know of, people even complain in nannies that some nannies, some maids, they give Piriton, they give cough syrup to children. And it's a case of reassessing your priority. What is more important to you? Is it the health of your child or your ability to
go and have fun? Your rest is important.
We must rely on one another. It's important. When we discard communal living in the world of modernization, being modern, we are losing a whole lot. If you want to go to party, if I want a weekend out with my husband, sometimes I'll just take my kids to my parents' place and I'll call BC, let my children come to your house, because I know that if they are there, I will have time. I'm not going to, I can relax. So last Saturday, I had a busy day and I spoke to a friend, a school friend, and said, let me pick up my children from school. I know that they will stay with their friend in their friend's house, and you can also do that. The person can do that with me. So it's important that we create communities to support one another. No human being can on their own raise children well, because life's challenges would happen and you'll be frustrated.
Let me make it a bit simple, talk about. Let's something as small as I want to sleep. Turn on the cartoon, watch. Now, you need that sleep, and that's the truth. We all told, listen guys, you have to rest. Now, our cartoons these days are not clean anymore. So, or you give them the phone to use. They take my phone, use my phone, you go on YouTube and just do something, just to keep you busy. I just need 30 minutes of sleep. Now, there in YouTube, he's picking up stuff, the pop-up messages are coming in, he's clicking, and you have no idea that your child is getting information that he's not supposed to get it. So these are real life things, because as I said, this tramadol and party is a bit far-fetched. But there are little things we do also that we have to do.
The children.
But with that little silly mistakes we do that expose children. I mean, I was telling you the other day that there's a rule in my house. We know times whenever the kids are on their phone, I tell my help, please always check. I don't care what you're doing. Always just walking unannounced. We check. Everybody knows. Check unannounced. What are they watching at per time? And whenever you're in, don't go and put your laptop where you can see. Put it where as we're walking, we can see. These are little things, but it doesn't make it perfect, because if kids want to do something, they will still do it somehow. So how can we help ourselves?
So one of the things that my mothers taught me as I had my first child was learn the child's routine. There's no baby in the world that can run 24 hours without sleep. In fact, my daughter then used to go about 16 to 18 hours of sleep during the day. In between, if you calculate everything, they're only awake to suck, and then they breastfeed and they sleep. And so they'll tell you to quickly, whatever you need to do, back the child, do it. Once the child is sleeping, sleep. And over time, I've used that routine to adjust till they became toddlers, and now they are restless and everywhere. So once I want to sleep, take your bicycles out, all gadgets taken. Go to the compound. There's an area you can leave them. Sometimes I'll just say, go to your mama's place, to Yolu's place, and they'll go there.
That's community.
That's community. So you must adjust with responsibility. You need your breaks. Yes, you do. But you must adjust with responsibility. It's not that you say, be going, anyhow, just waka. Or you lock them up. The one that is worse is lock them up anywhere, whatever they do, without checking, or lock them up with anyhow kids. My daughter has a friend, she likes to go to her house, and it would be nice if they go there. I'll have break. But they have so many boys in the house. Because it's a house of training boys where they do trade. Please, you can't go there. And she will cry, no, we used to have fun there. Auntie, if I am not visiting, you cannot visit. We must go together, we are not going.
Yeah.
So, you must continue to responsibly parent a child.
Right.
There's no room for relaxing. If you don't want to have children, it's another matter.
Yeah.
But if you have the gift of your parents around, that's a gift. You can always make them.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll try to open our phone lines for people to join this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
It's not just where, but who wouldn't you want to work with?
Yes, that's on that angle.
So Laifa had a very, very interesting
You wouldn't want to work with who?
There's no judgment.
No, and I
they'll
respect,
judge you
I
definitely,
respect
but we
this
won't judge
certain type of people. But what I dislike so much is when they tend to come to work and then they pour all their
resentment from
on you. Is it me that offended you? I'm not the one. I have no business. Mom just come and work with you, pay me at the end of the month, and let me go back to my house in peace and sleep. But when it comes to like divorced people, I cannot work with a divorcee. I can't see myself doing that. If I find out, if you can hide it or not, but if I find out,
when they are nice divorcees,
I would just.
What if they are nice?
Okay, now it depends. If you are nice, cool. But if you are the type that you don't know how to keep your anger to yourself, you always pour it on somebody. Well, I'll not drop my resignation letter, no matter the amount you're paying me.
So it's more passive-aggressive people.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, definitely.
And I cannot work with stingy people.
See this one.
Because you cannot be passing me in the morning, afternoon. I can say, oh, yeah, I'm working. Oh, yeah, take 100 Naira. Take 10K. Take 15K. You don't have to be my sugar daddy or sugar mommy. See, the way you treat others is the way they will treat you outside. And if you cannot treat your workers well, they are not a good boss. If you cannot be dashing me small thing or giving me donuts when I'm working, you are not a good boss.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Looking for some drama?
Yes.
Sit back and catch up with the slaps. Yeah, lots of slap. The drama is endless on TVC.
Nǹkan ṣe é kọ́sibí wa tí kò bá ṣe é wọ́n tẹ́ gbọ́ zula ni ẹ ó ṣiṣẹ́ pa. Iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe yìí wò é. Mọ́tò tí mo ṣe ṣàrí.
Your car?
Yes.
Like, seriously?
It's your choice. Tó bá yẹ pé nǹkan tó choose láti ṣe náà ni best luck, brother.
Owó títẹ̀ tí ì san ẹ̀bùn kìíní ẹ̀bùn kejì ẹ̀mú títí torí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹjọ fún lọ́wọ́ kárí kan.
Kí ló ń sọ lẹ́nu?
Ṣé tútù mú ẹ ní? Why tó fi rí báyìí? Why are you like this?
Kò ní da kárí nǹkan burúkú ká má bàa sọ̀rọ̀ bọ́ nítorí
ṣé nǹkan tó.
Thanks for staying with us. So this topic is quite important, especially because it affects us, a lot of people, in many different ways. This case, as I said, is about tramadol being given to a child to allow the child to sleep. As I said, there's also different things we do to children just for our comfort. Much needed comfort, I would say sometimes. But I guess we have to also discuss how to be more careful in making our choices. Tucker, you're going to add something?
So I want to talk about another thing that we don't think of, which is that people actually go through postnatal depression, and like in that space, some people feel like this child is taking away my life. It might just, well, she's a young person. Even with older people, they go through it. So imagine how a young person who is having a child would now feel like my life is gone. Every day I wake up, I'm responsible for this child and I can't do anything fun. And there's no room to have conversations about it. Some people actually, in the developed country, they are always big on emotional support, getting emotional help, and a lot of people open up about wanting to kill their child. So imagine if people here actually start opening up about the fact that the thoughts cross their mind when they just feel like my life is over because I have a child. For some people, they just blend into motherhood. They have a child and it's like this completes me. And for others, it's like, is my life over? And because as the society, mainly within African space, we don't acknowledge these things. We feel like women, if you're a woman, you should be a mother. It's like 5 and 6.
You know that
every
movie,
woman should want to be a mother.
That movie, The Ways, that recently just premiered.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of meetings that women have to share. It's something, it's a culture, they've adopted it abroad, but here it's hard for us to just sit down and go somewhere and start sharing your stories. But the truth is that the more you talk about it, it helps you to unburden the feelings and the emotions that you feel that weighs you down. So I think all these NGOs, as great as you do one big event, you put it on social media, let's have a consistent meetings of different groups. There are different groups, those that are having alcohol problems, those that are having raising children issues, those that are having postnatal depression. There are very good groups. I'm not into those kind of stuff, but maybe these are things that we should start thinking about as NGOs.
What would I call the communal one? Because I am blessed with a communal setup. So there's nothing that you are going through, except you are somebody that like to keep it inside, that you will not find help. I remember that, I shared that I didn't adjust to motherhood easily, and I also had some postnatal health conditions. The moment I shared it, when I had my second child, they will constantly knock. You need help. Someone is going to the market, they will help you with something. Yeah. If you're having issues, difficulty lactating, in fact, the pap, I've not finished drinking it. Because I expressed that I had issues lactating at the second week of Imran's birth. One of my neighbors, every evening, the kunu, I can't finish it. They're not born me rich. So there are certain groups like that, but because we are so educated now, we don't relate with people that ordinarily would empathize. Maybe you're in a group of people where everybody there are career people. Nobody has the time to check up on you whether you want to drink kunu or you are lactating. But if you have mothering issues and you express it with people who genuinely have the time, you will find that help.
Yes, Mikey.
Yeah, I was going to take some tubes. Ngumen Fiona says, my mother used Puritin on us. And then Ade Oladayo says, so my niece, 16 years, gave her brother 1 year Bonabe drug overdose so that the baby no go sleep. Go sleep so and stop disturbing. And me, my sister, drop her pikin. Just go market, come back. She don't drop the pikin. When I came back, notice the pikin where they always play and restless. Just they do somehow. Before she open her mouth talk, I don't cry tire. They back the pikin. So what I think she's trying to say, because
these things happen.
The 16-year-old child gave her sister a drug that made her sleep. So it does happen. It's just that we need to, I think, try to be more responsible.
All right, let me take this call, then we'll wrap up on this. Good morning, Dr. Faith. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. I'm just
welcome to the show.
Okay, and I called in because I'm a doctor and I've worked with children for a while. So, first thing I want to say is that people should show more empathy towards, because there are a lot of things that could have, moved her to do that. And one of them I suspect is postpartum depression, which is very common amongst developing nations. So it can be an undiagnosed postpartum depression that must have led her to do that. And then the absence of a community to help raise that child. Because the truth is no one person can raise a child, especially when it's a newborn. And that was from the papers that I read, that was her first child. So she needed a community to help her with it. Right. And if she did not have that, as she was going
part of
it's part of it. It might be a coping mechanism for the emotional.
So there are different things that you need to go through the emotions.
No.
Some
she wasn't coping. She was.
We are not medical doctors here. We are saying that there's a possibility that she was trying to cope.
You know people's minds.
I know women who drink with the baby in front of them, coping, drink. You hide the baby in the house so you can go have fun. You can go and have that fun responsibly. Give the baby to anybody else.
But people go through emotional challenges.
I've seen somebody with postpartum depression. And they are listless. They are not going to go and club. They are listless. They let themselves go.
They will tell you that mental issue is a spectrum.
Yes.
Depending on which the person you meet. It could be on the left, it could be in the middle, because you like. Depending on where you are. So the point is, we don't know how people respond. People respond in different ways. You don't have enough time to take callers to say, listen, they even went that they didn't want to see the baby. Just take me out of here. I want to go somewhere else. So let me just let the baby keep quiet. You know, there are different ways. So
yes, you can have that one.
So them say that there are different ways. We have to wrap up. Let's take a few comments and we wrap up.
Just one. Called from Clifford says, it is well. Parents, not women alone. Men need to do more in raising up a child, especially in this generation. You need to teach their kids how to deal with peer pressure and online presence, because what these kids are turning out to be, it is well.
That's a different conversation. All right, we have to wrap up with it, but let's, I think in a nutshell, community living is important. Let's also use a community. This is a young mother, and many of this, as she said, some young mothers go through this, and they need that community around to help and support them. Also, people have that medical situation of the postpartum depression. It's real. It happens to different people in different ways. So we can't really judge this situation, but we need to understand that we need to help each other, especially when you have a mother who is struggling with the emotional burden of this.
Yes. Those many mothers that are beating her, did they reach out to help?
Yes, exactly. So, all right, we have to wrap up on this. So we have to just mention that, because anytime we see stories like that, it's important for us to raise it and talk about it again, just to remind ourselves the importance of paying attention and helping each other. We're going to go on a break now. We'll come back, we'll discuss CBN policy. We'd like to hear you to call, because we mentioned it in the paper review, but it would be better to call as Nigerians. Maybe Governor Emefiele will be watching this morning. Let him hear directly from you. So if you've experienced going to the bank and you saw new notes, please call in. If you experienced going to the bank and there were no new notes, please call in. Everybody has gone to the bank in the last 24 hours. Please call in when we come back after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right.
Ask questions if I want to ask questions, and if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask questions. I may just. I may even tell you I saw this.
What if it's in person? But then, would it make a difference where? So like, this person might just say, you people can just be on Third Mainland Bridge on a bike, and the person say, babe, I cannot do it again, and you lose range. So what would change? What would change the scenario? Like, does it matter where? Do you want to have like a fancy dinner, like the film you were mentioning?
No, like finding up
and
you,
then,
right?
or do you want to be on the street?
Don't carry me go fancy dinner.
Or you might just una dey run for treadmill.
Or you na dey jog.
Don't tell you lose for your web.
Now I don't turn attempted murder.
So which would it be? Because I'm like, in person you have the closure that you want and the few injuries.
Guys, that's one place. It could be inside the car. You can sit inside the car.
Why car? Why not bike?
Who will be driving?
Why bike?
Who will be driving at this point?
The car will be stationary.
Pray I'm not the one driving.
Just pray.
Because I'll go master. You can't be telling me like me. I'm going to drive near water. You must consider.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Thanks for staying with us. So the CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, Governor Godwin Emefiele, has insisted, get to say the name very well, has insisted that there will be no deadline extension for old Naira notes, even when the National Assembly of Nigeria have asked CBN to extend the deadline. At some point later in the conversation, we'll be having Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the spokesman for the House of Representatives, to join the conversation. But first, we'd like to hear from Nigerians, your experiences. Please call us on 081-270-53687, 0913907698. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. YK shared her experience earlier that she sent somebody to the bank this morning, about 9 banks. All were not working. The ATMs are not working. I said earlier also that one of our directors also went to the banks this morning, and she confirmed to me that the machines are saying no service, not dispensing cash, out of service. But when she now got into the banking hall, they were dispensing old notes. Who's fooling who? The CBN fooling us, or is it the bank that's fooling us? Let us hear your thoughts on this. Call us and share your experience with us. We really need to know what your thoughts are. I'm told that Yakub has already called in to join the conversation.
Dr. Yakub,
yes.
No vex, please. I just want to say what he said. He said our mint is producing and we are supplying the banks. We have super agents on served areas like the riverine communities and CBN staff. Members have been. We believe that by January 31, the new Naira notes would have permitted the nooks and crannies of the country. We believe that word. It's not that we know. There's a difference between believe and know.
Maybe it could be a calculated belief. It could be
when you say you believe, you are not sure.
It's hope.
When you say I know,
is that
I know that Naira is wearing blue.
Yeah.
I believe that Naira is wearing blue. They're two different things.
But let me take Yakub. Come, Yakub, are you there? Thanks for calling us.
I'm there.
Yeah. Sorry, Yakub.
Good morning, Sister Anima, good morning, and then Mama Bigi. The central bank governor remains only governor in this country that was not voted for because the position he held is not a position that Nigerian citizens express their feelings vote for him. And it being a station whereby we always vote for a central bank before he becomes a governor, I think Emefiele will never become one. Let me tell you this, Naira, go to any bank. They don't have this paper quality that we are talking about. And the same is who talk you. They were telling us because of the people that find the money at home and other, that's why they bring this kind of the thing to us. Naira, I can tell you for free, those ones that are keeping billions of naira, they have nothing for free. That's not why. Why? Because some bank manager already become a billionaire. You know why? Somebody that gets money, free money. This has almost 20 billion at home. Why would take that person to ask a bank manager that come? I will give you 5 billion out of this money. Collect this money, and then it will be done. The mother, the people in this area, in my village, in your spiritual, although I have a question, in my village, this village, another people, this animal village, those women that have those 1,000 naira that so dear for their mind, how is it going to be? Because 34th of this month, I have to go to know that money is useful, it's useless. What did those women will do? See, I think we have civil society organization that is working. They could have protected against this very particular thing. But our civil society organization.
I want to be sure I understand what Yakub is saying. Is he saying that there are people that have like this possibility that people that with billions in their house,
they can settle the bank managers and get their money
get the new notes in?
Yes. Okay. So let me, that it's speculation. And there might be some truth to it, maybe based on experience. But one thing we know for a fact is we must believe that the CBN has good intentions. And when you read through the policy, it is going to help us as a country. It will help us curb inflation. It will help us deal with excess liquidity, which are current problems that we are facing in our economy. So on paper, this is a good policy. However, it's a policy that is requiring Nigerians to change their lifestyle. Is requiring Nigerians to, is requiring, maybe I've always used my hand to eat amala all my life. Then you now come and say, over the next period of 90 days, you must use chopsticks to be eating amala. And everybody, your hand is no longer allowed, spoon is no longer allowed, everybody start using chopsticks. Why? It is good for your body or something. And all of us now have to conform. And then there are some remote places where they don't have chopsticks. That's the way this is. It might be good for us, but you cannot change our character and our lifestyle within 90 days. Nigerians are used to spending cash. I am not used to spending cash. I am not feeling any issue in this policy. I've not seen the new note, I've not spent it, and I'm not bothered because most of my transactions for years have been cashless. And because of that, it's easy for me. But for another set of people, they've never done bank transactions. All they do is cash. So you are expecting them to change their life suddenly because you are making a policy. There's a WhatsApp group my husband is part of, and somebody said he went to go and visit his mom, and they gathered almost 2 million naira. All those grandmas that your uncle will come and your brother, your son will give you money, son will give 50,000. So, and the mama has kept it inside the house in different corners. They were now searching, mama, did you put money under the bed? And were able to find as much as 2 million that the woman has kept for years. There are people like that, they are already maybe blind old with people that they've given money, they've kept it in the corner, and the money is now paper, useless.
Let me take this call from Ade. Ade, good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
I want to use this opportunity to appeal to our central bank governor to consider people in diaspora. One of my friends is having 500,000 naira. Brand new. You see, he's telling me what he's going to do with it. He's going to burn it. So think of others in UK, in America, everywhere. We'll be close to about 2-3 billion naira. We should tell over to take the money to our embassy, and they can take it from us. And they create an account, but he did a press conference yesterday. He didn't even talk about the actual at all. Because the man, since he lost the presidential whatever, he has lost everything. He should not vote for him in 2027. He should help us in diaspora.
Okay.
We have to take our
I think that's feedback. So
thank you.
Thank you. So we're having a conversation here, and we're not trying to we're trying to understand the policy and see how we can make it better. So based on what you said, that's feedback from diaspora. That's important. Doctor mentioned something very important also. People, my mothers, Mama Brown too. I mean, Mama the other day was bringing her money. She said, Mama, like next with this in this paper, I'll go and bring all your money. Because Mama has money, but she actually doesn't have money. She now sit there doing them Elizabeth's hair. Maybe she wants to go and pay for the hair. But I've told her, go and gather everything. Let's go to the bank. So yeah, you're right. There are people like that we need to really get them to go to the banks. Nima, your experience.
Okay, so I think the Nigerians are misunderstanding the central bank governor. What he wants to do is mop up cash. He's not swapping our cash. So most Nigerians have monies at home. The banks will take your deposits, but when you want the value of the money back in the new note, there's a limit to what you can now get. So the ATMs are dispensing limited 20,000 naira, and they're not even supposed to dispense that 1,000 naira note. The one we saw that was dispensing 1,000 is on the island, in the head office of a popular bank. they will not, the instruction is that they will start to dispense from 200 naira notes downwards to give at least 20,000 naira max from ATM per withdrawals. They said that they are taking away the charges for per 20,000 naira withdrawal that was on the ATM, so we can get as much as we want. But how much will you stand by ATM to take when there's a queue behind?
Long queue.
The queues at ABIA yesterday was somebody was even crying that what nonsense is this? To deposit the cash that he has, to swap it to go and do business. No, that's not what they allow.
So they don't want you doing business with cash anymore. They want you doing SIM.
Yeah, and they are not informing. In fact, CBN should be in trade fair, so people don't run mad. CBN should, be using the banks in trade fair and be raising their awareness. Go around the market, talk to people who do daily cash transactions of over 2 million are in that market.
That's why I said.
And you are stressing them. Don't make them understand. Yes,
it's a culture change.
They're doing a culture change. You don't make them understand this policy enough to bring them inclusively into it.
They have a deadline, and deadline because
that deadline that they take
so that people have deadline because they're also trying to curb this kidnapping and those who the money.
I think kidnap people, please, in the last 1 week. I didn't say 1 month or 1 week.
They are trying to get
kidnapped and demanded money from people.
All those kidnappers that have money,
even though there's this law.
No, we have not done any known one that we know.
Yeah, that we don't. That is on the papers. Yes,
because they kidnap people constantly.
Exactly.
Everything. What are you talking about?
No, okay.
There was kidnapping.
There are those that don't make it to the papers.
I know, but it was not in the paper. It was in the papers yesterday of people that they kidnapped.
So the point
they beheaded somebody.
Yes.
2 days ago.
Even after collecting 6 million.
Even after ransom was paid.
Yes.
Okay, let me take this call.
Now, I was listening to the radio today. There's a particular governor's wife, I can't remember which one, was flaunting her new money. They are getting the new money. We are not even saying, do your policy. It's okay. But let the money be available.
I saw somebody with a bottle at a party spraying 1,000 money.
You see them now?
Money that would do.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Morning, Naira.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Please, what I'm doing, the policy, just like we're discussing this morning, the policy is a good policy, but unfortunately in this country, this is a country whereby we look at education not to be anything, because just shortly ago, a session completely was closed in this country, in our universities. So our educational background is so poor, and this policy is mainly maybe to witch hunt themselves. But the people that are going to suffer more are the masses that are going to suffer. Somebody have 2 naira and cannot spend it. 1,000, 2,000, he cannot spend it because most of the what do you call them? The banks, you don't have access to the bank. You go to the ATM, there's no new money there. And then when you go to POS again, they are refusing. Some of them are refusing to collect the money now because they feel that the banks are chopped up, so they don't have access to drop that money. So this is a policy, I don't know. We have leaders in this country that don't actually listen to the masses. People are crying up and down, but nobody is listening to us.
All right.
Well,
let me go to a break. Thank you very much, Anso, for your contribution. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with our show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ask questions if I want to ask questions, and if it's something that I saw coming, I may not even ask questions. I may just I may even tell you I saw this.
What if it's in person? But then would it make a difference where? So like this person might just say you people can just be on Milan Bridge on a bike and the person say, babe, I cannot do it again, and you lose range. So what would change? What would change the scenario? For, like, does it matter where? Do you want to have like a fancy dinner, like the film you were meant to be
like
talking about? And then, or do you want to be on the street?
Don't carry me go fancy dinner.
Or you might just una dey run for treadmill.
Or you not a joke.
Don't tell you lose for your web.
Now I don't turn attempted murder.
So which would it be? Because I'm like, in person you have the closure that you want and the few injuries.
Guys, that's one place. It could be inside the car. You can sit down inside the car.
Why car? Why not bike?
Who will be driving?
Why bike?
Who will be driving at this point?
The car will be stationary.
Pray I'm not the one driving.
The car will be stationary.
Because I'll go master. You can't be telling me like me. I'm going to drive near water. You must consider.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome pioneer Positive Force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger!
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
I
said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Vanessa wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
Okay, we're back. So we're going to take a call. Good morning, are you there? Like I thought I had a caller. So, recently I follow Mwabudu, and she recently posted a video on her Instagram page where she was showing this new supermarket by Amazon. You don't, there's no cashier. You come in with your with the app. You scan the app and the entrance. You go in, pick whatever you want, and automatically your goods are charged to your Amazon account. Now that's where the world is heading. So Nigeria is obviously far behind on that, but they're trying to take baby steps into what we can do to get people, to sensitize people on how to become cashless, because all of us keep saying, oh, international community. Well, how do we help each other? Yes, there are a few facts. So as we said earlier, we understand the need to go cashless, but the timing, the education, do we have enough? Have we totally sensitized those? Someone like Momo is unaware that the cash that she's carrying around by next week is worthless. We tried to explain to her. So there are people like that too. They don't even know. My mom doesn't have an app. Doesn't have what they call it, the mobile app. She doesn't have it. She won't, till tomorrow she still goes to the bank to go and collect money, 10,000 naira. She was by the counter to go and collect it. She doesn't understand the app thing. So how am I going to start getting her to go cashless at 74?
So I wanted to just say something, because you see, when you go abroad and you see a village abroad has all the amenities, has huge supermarkets, has houses, has the roads are tarred, everything. Now, let's take that step into a Nigerian village. When you go, and I'm not talking about the London of the East. I'm not talking of those kind of villages where the people build huge houses. No, I'm talking of, there was this village where one governor, they sent governor's child 21 went the other day. See, the road was untarred, there were no houses, there are mud huts. Is it that kind of village that bank will go and build village? No. So what are those people using?
The bank will go and build branch.
Sorry.
It's POS.
Let me take this call. I can't make it. This is an important point you're making. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. You girls are looking, ladies are actually looking beautiful.
Thank you.
Good morning. Yes. So my contribution to the new Naira is, the way I see it, Nigerians, because we are not used to pay, we believe that things have to go to pay for one thing. The bigger countries that we look at and we use as examples, they are descendants or whatever, the ancestors, their founding fathers went through a lot to get to where they are today. It was not like a child's play. So for us to be able to move forward, we have to make some sacrifices. Things we don't have to go the way we want it. But they are saying there's a point they are trying to make in trying to change the rallies, to change the Naira. The banks want to have access to every fund in the economy, which will eventually pay off. It might not actually stay working now, but this is to work for generations to come. So we cite examples of countries that have developed and that they are democracy for like 250 years, and we are just starting our own 20, 30 years ago. Do things work like that? Things like this is just boycott. They are not actually
it's not very clear. It's not very clear, but I think I have an idea. She's saying that we should be patient or something like that, that the governor is trying to do something good. So it's good to hear a citizen that even supports that government is trying to do something good. That's a good thing.
Nobody here is saying
it's not a good thing.
Something good. Nobody has said it here. What we are saying is, one, the timing.
Yeah.
You have given us 90 days. Okay, no problem. It's okay. 90 days is fine. But have you injected that cash
in the bank
into the system, so that when I go to the anywhere, I will see new notes. You are not seeing
not your part, but you're
I run a cash business where if you come and buy a drink, nobody is bringing new notes. Everybody is bringing old notes. So you know what? By Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will say, oh yeah, everybody. So everybody is going to say, oh yeah, hold your old note. Don't come.
How will your business thrive?
Your business cannot thrive. That's my point.
Well, your POS is it working? You can pay back POS.
You can't pay back POS. Use ATM. And ATM. So you know when you have to carry ATM is not working. You carry. Oh yeah, I'm looking for network. I'm looking for network. Everybody is looking for network now. Network is flying away.
That's not serious.
So if we remove the excuse of bandits and crime and tracing, kidnapping money, let's talk about basic market. Enter Okari. Which mama want to be giving you POS? Relax. Even in the market, relax. Even inside this trade fair article market, if you do transfer, you can spend the whole day there waiting for them to get alert. Yes, so
no, that's not. I went to the that transfer.
Talk about Lagos Island. No, don't talk about article. When I say it, you know when you argue to go, they pay me. You will be there for them to see their alerts. They have to carry their phone and go somewhere and come back. So if it is not seamless, we don't compare. Except we are trying to punish ourselves. If it is not a punitive measure, you must give room for people to adjust into it. In the minimum, do 6 months. This one that you are vexing to do it now. See if you know.
Let me take this call. Hold on. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, everybody.
You're live. Yeah. Have Mr. Hassan. Go ahead.
There's nothing wrong with the CBN policy. There's something wrong because it was well enumerated before they started it. But the issue is this: is why now? I've been asking this question, and the CBN governor or anybody from the system has not been able to give me that answer. The CBN governor has been there for over 8 years. Why are you trying to be brave now? Why are you trying to be patriotic now? Exactly. Who are you trying to impress? It's a man that is even against us. Because the CBN governor, I was aware, he devalued Naira more than 2-3 times, which is against us as Nigerians. And secondly, there is this problem we are having of literacy in our rural areas and mistrust by our people. People can be literate and have mistrust in the banking system. These people in our rural areas, they don't believe in this app or whatsoever. So they believe in this, give me, I give you. How do you take care of that? They should go further and do that. And when they now told us about this issue of counterfeiting is not a problem of me and you. It's a problem of the system to fit out the culprit and bring them to move. That is the function of FIU.
All right, thank you, Hassan. You see, when mobile phones came, people were really they were reluctant to accept this technology because they felt in the rural areas, how would they be able to send messages? How would they change is hard. Change is difficult. There's no way you assume that everybody will accept it. But at some point in the next 5 years, this will be almost like a no-brainer because everybody will probably know how to somewhat transfer. But change is hard. But I don't want us to go to the part of why is it happening. It's the process of it happening should be better. I would like us to have passed why is it now? What is he trying to achieve? Who's trying to impress? It's not about that.
Why should you do it in 90 days and think that you are doing something good?
Yeah, so the issue is how it's being done. And the answer myself that asked him to extend it's not listening.
You know, there's some people that don't believe that you should use your left hand to write. There's some. So when you have a child that has that uses left hand, you will see the parents beating the child. Oh yeah, use your right. Then you will see the child crying because he's struggling to use right because he or she is more comfortable with the left. That's what Oga is doing to us now. We are all using left hand. So all of you must use right hand, and we are all in pain and we are crying.
Eventually, you get it done.
We are not saying we will not get it. We are saying when you are forcing your child to use that brain, change their brain around. It's not an easy thing, and most times we say it's not right.
But let me take this call back because I need to get more examples from our viewers so that Governor Emefiele might be listening to this morning, so hopefully you get feedback. Good morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You're live, Mr. Laguki.
Yes.
Can't hear you.
He's listening to us.
Hello, Laguki, please listen to us directly, don't the TV. The TV is delayed. It's 2022 for heaven's
sake. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Laguki.
Yes.
Morning.
Yeah.
I have to disconnect the call.
Please, let's talk about the fact that this our GSM that we are all enjoying the ability to talk. when we go to our farm in Ogbomoso, the farmland, we will have to go where one tree is to get network. So it's not like we have even the GSM that we've had for years has gotten everywhere. Network for call, we're not talking network for internet. There's no internet at all. I'm talking Mayi in Ogbomoso. There's no internet in there. We now had to buy, there's one particular one massive phone like this that we bought, because that one, you pull the antenna and you can make phone calls there. That's the reality of many areas in Nigeria. And you cannot make a policy in this. You cannot make a policy in isolation for the people without understanding how it's affecting them. One of the cameramen just whispered to me that we have issues of fake alerts, and we are not able to resolve the issue. When somebody sends fake alerts, resolving that issue is almost impossible. If you do transaction mistakes, it takes a long time to resolve. Well, the infrastructure is not being perfected, and we're trying to create a glossy picture because we are in Lagos. We cannot say, oh, because we're in Lagos we have internet, but the issue is it's not the same everywhere.
Okay, let me very sound. Okay, let's just do only Lagos for now.
Even in this Lagos, my daughter's birthday, I wanted to quickly get her a gift because we're not throwing a party. So I went into the article market. The girl selling shoes does not have an account for me to pay money into. She takes only cash. Where is your nearest POS? I went to the POS to transfer money. I didn't have my ATM. I transferred the money to the lady. She gave me 3 banks. I kept doing the transfer over and kept failing. She kept saying, no, easy. Before that was internet. I walk to one place that was high. Inside this Lagos, I'm talking Lagos. I know. I want the. I walk to one place that was high, transfer money. It's now the issue of whether the alert will come. The 30 minutes I wanted to use in the bank eventually turned over.
Okay, so now let me use that example. A young girl that wants to start a business, do it the right way. You have an account. You're starting a business. Let's help children get a CAC number. You know, there's a process. You don't just start going. Now, if something happens to your goods, I know I can't trace it because some girl from somewhere just gets 100,000 naira, buys products and starts selling. It doesn't work like that. We're going to get into the system. So government is saying you own a business. Are you not
creating a complexity?
What I'm saying is
when you say a young girl starting a business, the first thing she do, she see 100,000 naira is to buy market and sell it. They are saying to her, go and get a CAC number, get an account number.
Start
how much is 100,000?
Please let me just give you one. Me, First Generation Bank. I'm still waiting for alert on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today is Wednesday. Wow. I've not seen the alert, but anytime there is debit, I see it. Pop! The money I see the every day. No, just look at now. Inside, how much?
Are you sure it was deposited?
POS. ATM. I mean, not the ATM. The POS
machine to pay for.
Because they say go cashless. So yes, I have confirmed.
The system is not.
But I've lost a lot of money because this one, when I will call that bank, it's a First Generation Bank. I will call the bank. Don't say. You will wait. Not with the market that they take buy markets. That's one. New Generation Bank. Those ones will say. In fact, those ones they just be sending text that this thing will not work. Debit of you did not debit.
Let me add to
they will say somebody said their clinic card didn't work. Did you get value for your money? What are you telling me?
I was at this.
Ike has vexed. Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Thank you, ma.
Ike, drink water, please.
You have not controlled your banks. You are coming to control the citizens.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Can lead to change.
Good morning.
You're live. Let's increase the volume so I can hear her. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, Murayo. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, Charity, please.
Good morning, beautiful lady. I'm Charity for Dada.
Thank you. Welcome to the show.
I don't think CBN, I don't think that they are very clear. I don't think they are clear because last week I met a lady at the ATM. I met this lady at the ATM. She went into the bank to deposit her old notes. She now came out to withdraw from the ATM, and this same ATM still said that the same old note that she went to deposit, the same old note that she entered into the banking hall to deposit, she came out to withdraw from the ATM bought her the same old note that she went to deposit. So I don't think this is a serious.
Right.
I don't think.
Thank you, Charity. You know, okay, yes.
Example to you. So POS transactions that have failed. Ordinarily, the standard is that if it fails at a POS, your bank has the right to transfer the money back into your account within how many hours. You print the receipt, the person takes it to the bank will say the money have already hit the POS. Just because they don't want to put an incidence form. They will start sending customers back. Imagine somebody going back and forth to the bank in 3 months between the bank and the POS. And the POS operator cannot pay you for a transaction that has failed on their system. If they pay you, you go away. They can never recover that money. They don't have a right to your account. They are a payment solution. Bank staff, even the head of operation with his eyes clear, will be sending you back and forth. Simple thing like that you should incident it. And you know that money can only be paid back into the account of your customer, but you will send them message and stress them.
We're trying to reach Mr. Osita. Mr. Let me call him out right now because we're trying to reach him. Mr. Osita Nwanibiosi. He's the Director of Corporate Communications at the Central Bank of Nigeria. We reached out to him. He's giving us, posting us, I'm busy, I'm not available, I'm busy. We need to speak to CBN on this matter. We tried to reach out to CBN because somebody needs to speak to us, to explain to us. Me, I have a personal question. Let me to vent, like why keep that vex? I have this 15,000 Naira mutilated notes. They are not collecting it. I'm angry and vexed.
So what will you do with 15,000 Naira?
CBN government, please, I need to be angry. I'm very angry right now. I have 15,000 Naira that is mutilated and I need the banks to collect it. I am angry.
She wants to be an actress.
Anyways, good morning, my caller. Are you there? You're live.
Hello, good morning, Mariah, and the beautiful ladies in the studio. This issue is actually a good one, but the challenge is that we don't have infrastructure present. Exactly. I'm just at a place now. I wanted to make transfer to buy something. The woman refused. She said she doesn't accept transfer. As I'm telling you, she's laughing now. You know? So,
is she in Nigeria?
It is not her fault. Yes, it is not her fault. It is not her fault. There are issues of delayed alert. If you will send money to somebody, it will take hours before it will come in. So they should put infrastructure in place, take it easy with us, bit by bit, all these things should be sorted out.
That's so true.
That's my simple take.
My driver went to the fuel station this morning. They didn't collect ATM. He said he should bring cash. I mean, I've disposed of all my cash. So now I'm looking for money for you to buy fuel. So it's a problem.
So we gave him your ATM pin.
Yeah, no, I usually transfer money to him.
His own account.
But they said they're not collecting transfer.
That's all it took me. One day I sent one of my staff to go and get diesel. He got diesel 75,000 that time. This is almost 75,000. We have passed that stage. That time, the Kenny left his account. The bank people said the petrol station they didn't see the money. I had to send him another 75,000. Hey, imagine! It took him 6 months
to be able to
get that 75,000. 6 months with the bank, First Generation Bank again.
So obviously we have infrastructural problems, and a lot of our IT people are also jackpying. There's a massive relocation of IT people. In my own case, one of the biggest challenges we're having is we're not even doing POS. My business is heavy transaction, but we don't even get alerts. So you're having to call the bank to confirm alerts, and they was like, we have technical issues. We're having technical issues, and yet we have not even we have not moved into this new phase. So the banks are losing that are their strength in the IT place, and even the government's policies that we rely on these IT people to be able to make it work. So on all fronts, this policy is bedeviled with challenges. It is important that the CBN government doesn't just say, I've made up my mind, I'm not going to change my mind, this is the policy, everybody should find a way to do it. But leadership is about listening to the people and understanding the people. And people are complaining consistently. You shouldn't see it as an attack from the politicians, because when you read his response, he's seeing it as the politicians, this will affect politicians. He wants to protect our votes so that they don't buy votes and they don't have cash to buy it. That's on one side. But I'm saying that I'm saying to the CBN government that ordinary Nigerians are also complaining.
I watch this. I watch series. For those of me, some of our governors, CBN governors, please watch some series. Take some time out to watch Netflix. Lots of these live movies where you watch. In this kind of situation, you have a major shift. You're about to do a major shift in banking and that's going to affect people's lives. we need a weekly or a daily, every 2 days update. So far, we've released X amount of cash to the system. So far, by this day, we're going to have, there should be like a daily update because there's a deadline by weekend, by 31st. So I expect that every single day, I'm hearing a briefing from the CBN office, giving Nigerians an update. Okay, so far, 60% of our banks now have the cash. Look, we're not going to this community. We're going to be there very soon. Please bear with us. Somebody's communicating to Nigerians, but no, Nigerians just keep mum and say let them get it because of nothing. That's what we don't want.
Excuse me. You have a major policy that you have decided is the best policy in the world? Fine. You went on holiday for 1 month. Who does that? Did you even stay on top of this policy to make sure that they were transferring money into the banks? You went on holiday and they did not transfer the money. The politicians that you say are protecting, the money is in their hands. Who have used all of them? All of them have the money.
The National
They have the money. We don't have the money.
The National Assembly who summoned him have the cash now. So they are not. National Assembly is no longer summoning him. What is the committee that summoned him before?
Independence.
They are not hearing us again. They've not summoned him recently to ask him how is this policy affecting us. You know the one that is paying me. On all those bank apps, especially this one that have orange on their head, go there, you will see your customer care, your account officer's number.
Yes.
Call the number.
My own works. My own works.
But call the number.
My own works. My own works.
In that orange bank.
My own works.
My own doesn't work.
My own orange bank, it works.
It doesn't work.
Let's talk about what he said.
I want to that point. Let me take this call.
Let
me take our call, please. Good morning, are you there?
It will not work.
Oh, sugar, I lost that call.
Why came made a very huge point.
Oh, he's there.
Leadership.
Wait. Hello, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Mr. TSB Boba.
TSB.
Hello, sir. You're live.
I'm calling for Warrior.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I just my contribution. You don't learn left. You don't be a left right at old age. Can you hear me, sir?
It's not very clear, but please go ahead.
You can't use left when you are already aged. You would want to use left. This policy, you don't give deadline for it. We are not saying redesign. We recolor the Naira.
Yes.
I just make a transaction now, and it is reversed. I go somewhere to pick a material again. It is reversed in 2 stores now for me to work. There's a project I'm carrying out for me to work 2 products. So the environment is not conducive in Nigeria factor for such policy.
It's just reiterating.
The environment is not conducive at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So
yes, talk what you're going
back to what YK said, and which totally tallies with what you said. Leadership. You cannot be making a huge policy change and you are not on top of the game. Or you are seen not to be on top of the game. Because it's not even about just the fact that you feel there's a system that is working, but perception is even more important than the reality. And the perception that you are not around makes people feel like anything can go on. And the CBN governor was changing our lives in absentia, and it wasn't even in the country vacationing, it was after the country vacationing. So I think that it's important, and we've given our leaders a lot of liberty to just do whatever. You know, we will have crises. The National Assembly will say that they are on recess. And there's something wrong in the country. You cannot cancel the recess. Everybody has gone on vacation. You are responsible for the people. You are here to serve the people. The CBN governor, however, is not accountable to the House of Assembly. So the National Assembly cannot even hold him. But we can. And it might not be in the formal way, but we have a responsibility to call him out and make him know that pay attention to what we're saying. You're here to serve us. Your policies, if it does not affect us positively, we are going to continue to complain. And that's not what you want.
Right. He had no business traveling anywhere.
At all.
You should have been here to monitor the continuous change. Because it's a huge change.
It's a huge change.
Well, let's take a few comments and see how
I just wanted to say that, you know, in leadership, taking decisions, making policies, you are doing it for people. You must not do it to cause hardship for the same people. If whatever you're doing is supposed to protect us, limit cash in the system, ensure that there are not illegal transactions happening. Shaping by these people that you are doing it for, the people are now calling out for you to do something miraculous to help them in this hardship, to ensure that their businesses don't shut down, to allow ease. Can you assess that system, that policy that you are putting on ground, and see a way to do it perfectly so that you don't create problems or punish people with it? This is not a punitive
comments on social media.
I want to take 3. And Anima and Messrs. Antitope, the rich and the politicians already have the new notes in their houses. Don't let them fool us. Now people like us no get them. True. And now this stupid policy was copied from India and it didn't work there. Are you not supposed to copy a successful policy? Madness everywhere. Then he says even if CBN educates people, what they're doing isn't practical. You mentioned trade fair. Other markets too. Our people buy and sell in cash. Withdrawing cash from circulation overnight can tank the economy and cause social unrest.
Here he says, Orange Bank, calling those ones for anything these days is like pouring water into a basket. Account officer. Which account officer? Mazi Okeke says, please. Okay. Andrew says,
I don't think everybody has this picture. Wake up in the morning. Okay, so we all don't have cash, right? Because they told us to put our cash in the bank. So now this is a new week. It's the first day of February. I know I need cash. So I go to the ATM, just like all of you are going to the ATM. Have you thought about the lines for us one by one? And the maximum is 20,000 naira because in the week I can only take 100,000.
They don't want you to collect cash. They want you to do transactions online.
I was still by Yaoni Pepe. I said,
don't think about it. Go and see it now.
I want to buy because I want to even in my own house here. I have small house cash. Once can honors are almost finished, man. Let's go and buy honors. Pepper has finished. Let's go buy pepper down the street. We have that. That's 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. I'm not using ATM for that again.
I have not used my eye to see the 200 naira. I only saw the 500 naira last week. I haven't used my eye to see the 200 naira. Please, has anybody here seen the 200 naira? I used to buy 200 naira.
Our purchasing power has ensured that you must do some daily purchases. The way it is, you cannot go and use muscle to buy everything. Is it the small woman that will sell yam down the street that wants me to be doing transfer? To which account? So that they will remove charges on top. If you want to pay her 3,000 naira, she wants to receive her 3,000 naira. Except I want to put 500 naira to cover all bank charges. She will not listen to me. Of course, it's going to make price of things more expensive.
We have to wrap up.
These think tanks, they stop thinking in the elites. They should sit down and think like normal Nigerians.
Is it 11 already?
It's almost 5. We have 3 minutes. We have to take a few comments on social media so we can wrap up. Many more comments. Nima?
Justice Akiboyewa says, we must not forget that the money in circulation is over 50 trillion naira and cash is less than 5%. Why are you making a mountain out of a molehill? He also says the economy of a huge country like Nigeria is not built on the people who keep money at home and refuse to embrace change. CBN has their objectives, and if they achieve over 80% of their objective, it will be great for Nigeria and Nigerians.
I think Nigerians have agreed that it's a good policy. We're just saying that the timing is wrong. It's too short. They need to review the policy. They need to review the timing. The process should be properly watched over and monitored to ensure success across the nation. I think 80% success, yes, is a good thing. Any other comments?
Son says, the fact is, assuming CBN pump out the new notes in excessive, no one would like to keep the old notes. If you enter 99.8% banks in Lagos today, you withdraw 20 to 100k, their cashier will hardly add 200 naira, 2,000 naira new note to that money.
Could it be that somebody who has 10 million naira, for example, CBN wants that person to bring the money first? So when you deposit it first, then the collecting is small. So because if I just replace the entire 10 million, then it to get the entire 10 million. How many people have 10 million?
But the thing is, when you go to the bank, you want to use your money and you're unable to use your money. So that already is on ground right now with dollars. You want to collect you deposited dollars in cash and you want to collect and they say they don't have. You deposit pounds in cash. You go to the bank, they say give us 24 hours, 48 hours to go and collect your money. So that already, when you watch movies about what's happening in Cuba, what's happening in Venezuela, people have money in their banks. They cannot collect. You have money, but you don't have the money because the money is under somebody else's control. For me, there is a good side and there's a bad side. Let's not even go into the bad side. Let's just help the government let's even see this good side and beg you to
perfect it.
Perfect this good side so that we can all benefit from the good you have in mind.
Richard Chukwu says we have good policies. We have good policies, but we have poor policy managers. Because yesterday, ATM is still dispensing old notes. Yeah. We have good policies, but we have poor policy managers.
We have to wrap up.
Truth is true. Says, now wow, your shout has woken up a baby.
It's like a shout. All right, so but I think we have to wrap up. But I mean, I think you have a few things. We need you to extend the date. We need you to put more new cash in the system more than you've done so far. We need you to collect mutilated note for me, especially 15,000 naira. Should I put in the dustbin? I don't know what they want me to do with that 15,000 naira. It's right there. It's right there.
You dash money, you should have given that person.
That's not the way they do gifts.
You know, but please, Governor Godwin Emefiele, you have Emefiele dos.
We are in
Emefiele. We're not asking, but please answer our questions. That's all we can take on today's show. Hopefully, this gentleman, let me call out his name again, because we've tried to reach him out and he's giving us I'm busy. Let us, hopefully, he would listen to us. His name is Mr. Osita Nwanibuyosi. He is the Director of Corporate Communications at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Please, if you know him, tell him that your view really wants to speak to him. We try to reach out to him and we're not able to speak to him. We need him to come and explain to us how they plan to solve our problems. That is all we can take on today's show. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.